I still cannot get over the fact that what happened in like the northern front of Fiore, where all those pieces of shit from Alvarez are holding up all the Sabertooth members and holding up all the blue Pegasus on the chains, got knives. I like that chapter, even with like talking about the spoilers and all that, boy, was some curveballs thrown into there, because boy, we got some stuff to talk about, including the new member that we've seen at the Spriggan, known as Neinheart. A pretty goddamn lengthy chapter this week. We've got a bunch of things to talk about. I think this is like, almost if you count everything about it, I think it was around about like 20 odd pages that this one was, and it's like, yeah, let's get ready right into it, because boy oh boy, like from what we got to see from the start of the chapter, you got to see like, yeah, Nancy's like, yeah, you saved my ass, yeah, and like Brandon's just like, I don't want to be here right now, so just leave me alone. And like even Lucy was saying, it was like, you do know, girl, you don't need to go back into the sun. It's like, you know, like and all she really said about this, like she didn't say anything about that. It's like, yeah, and all that, I didn't expect it, like, you know, Jacob to get taken out and all that. And it's like, now she understands like what the Emperor said, do not make like this enemy. And I'm like, Brandish, you know what, I really wish that some of these other Spriggans actually, you know, thought like that. I generally thought like, hey, maybe we should take them seriously instead of like, you know, doing it last minute, because boy oh boy, have we got some Spriggans that need to like step their game up, because, you know, even I will fully admit, so far the Spriggans, I mean, just like if we compare them to like the Taurus members so far, so far we've had more Taurus members that were really good or really good, and okay, because like so far like we've had some good fights, like out of all of them, the best one we've had, I think a lot of people can wholeheartedly admit that the best one we've had so far is Wendy and Jellal versus Damari. And then after that, I would probably say this fight, by like with what we had with Jacob. But then as well as like, you still want like fights like from what we got from like the Tatarasa. And it's like, this is like as far as we go apparently, because the 8th month approaches, and it's like, well, it's September though, like what the hell are you talking about? And it's like, well, over there, like, you know, we have the month of August is also known as the time of gathering calamities and all that. Her citizens, in order to overcome this perilous month, they pray and live with modesty and also integrity. And it's like, August is the month of fear, and that's been passed down through generations. So that might explain that, you know, the August that we know, as they showed a huge panel of them, August is definitely something not to fuck with, and I think they're already kind of showing off that, yeah, August isn't going to be the same as like some of the other Spriggans, because he is one of the most, I would say he's probably up there, like being one of the most intimidating and most powerful out of them all, and he's probably going to have probably the best, I feel like he's going to have one of the best fights out there. That's my own personal like gathering on it. But then it kind of went a little bit like, there was a couple of pages just going a little happy saying, well, I can't believe you broke the guild master, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm utterly shamed and all that. And he's like, you know what, he's like, then he kind of got back to his like, you know, August has got sight set on us and exactly and all that, we need to do something about that. It's like, we need to take care of this. And it was like, well, why don't we ask Mavis for advice? And she immediately fucks off. Now here's the thing where I was getting a little bit with the chapter, like I was getting a little curious, is exactly when Mavis comes down with Kana going to the Fairy Heart. And here's the thing about this, is like, from what we know about this, it's like, from what we know so far, it's like, so far this involves my strategy that will actually defeat Zeref once and for all. Like, I can't give you like all the details yet and all that, but at the time thing, we must remove my body from this lacrima. And it's like, wait a minute, like didn't your like pretty much body die, and now like didn't like Hades just pretty much put you in kind of like a I'd like to say like a brain dead kind of state, like from that? And it's like, yeah, I am, but it's like quite possibly I'm still okay and all that. I'm possibly alive thanks to the resurrection magic. And it's like, you know, but how are we even supposed to get you out of this thing? It's like, very good. That's like, you know, we use it on that power and erase the thought projection, and then I might be able to release my body and all that. It's, you know, even the project, like, you know, like as a result of my thought projection getting like attacked and all that, it's been cracked. And it's like, if I'm correct and all that, they like through this projection and all that, the lacrima can also be destroyed. So the only thing about this though that I'm a little bit concerned about is like, this makes you a moving target as well. You mean, hey, you can be on the run and stuff, but Mavis isn't exactly one of those characters that would do that. And it's like, and that's the thing with Fairy Glitter, and it's like, well, that seems like one of the only few magics that can destroy it. And I'm thinking like, well, why didn't you just ask Makarov? Because I'm pretty sure like Kana's like fairy lore, it's like pretty like powerful like that. Like, but it's like, you know, like her glitter compared to the lore, I don't really think that that's like on the power-wise exactly what they got. But also we didn't see a lot more of that. That actually kind of cut back to the northern front of Fiore, where this part, I've got to say, is brutal. This is utterly brutal. You get, like, which I did like, because I had a soft spot for the squad lineups, and even though I don't care too much for, like, Elfman that much, and, like, maybe as well I don't really care for, like, a bunch of the characters like Levy, like, there, and it's like, although I do, like, I'm a bit of the Mira Jane fan as well, but it's like, I've never been there, like, yeah, Panther Lily, you know, Lysana and all that, but it's like, I did like it when all of them were prepared, like, they're like, all members prepared for battle. Panther Lily's grabbing the sword, he's getting ready, like, you know, Levy's dropping the bags, and like, so, Gargiel's getting into a stance like that. Like, I really do like that, and one of the things that was actually kind of terrifying is that they got the Alvarez members there, like, they're coming around the army, and they're chanting, screaming, and they're laughing, and you see Sabertooth and Blue Pegasus on crosses. With being stabbed up, like you get to see Rufus there, you get to see like Sting, Rogue, Yukino's on a cross, and she's got a fucking chain to her neck, like being dragged like that. This is the thing I was saying in the spoilers, though. I was saying like, where exactly is like Hot Minerva in all of this? And we do get to see that Minerva is actually on those stands as well. I know there was one guy that was actually really upset about that. Like he was saying like, I hope like my girl Minerva's not there. And I'm like, I'm sorry man, but unfortunately Minerva's there. You can see her right next to Yukino. Now here's the thing and all that. You do get to see as well Orga's there as well, and you do get to see Minerva, and they're all alive because you know, like you get to see Yukino. It's like she's like, you know, she's still like good, like I'm in pain like that. So these guys are still alive, although like to be fair, like that's an ass happening, and it's like, well, wherever Sting and Rogue definitely did come from, I do not want to go back there because they had a fucking field day. So now we know exactly what their plan is. Like where they're going to be, okay, they were just going to fight them. Now this is pretty much turned into a rescue mission. We need to get these guys out of there. But they got, like, I don't think that they're going to be in there. Because, like, even Yukino, she got like a blade for a fucking kneecap. And I was like, these guys fucked them up pretty bad. Like, and this is what I wanted to see from Alvarez. I wanted them to be brutes. I wanted them to actually take some names and all that. And it's like, oh, you know, it's Sting and Rogue. Like, I mean, I'm not going to deny that Sting and Rogue are not the greatest of characters and all that. But it's like, either them, it's like, they're kind of like fucking sexually abusing the characters as well. Like, they're going up Jenny's skirt and all that. Yo, that's a nice ass. I'm like, these motherfuckers. Like, no fucking respect for women at all. No respect for fucking human life. It's like, honestly, if that's the case, you're gonna get your ass owned and all that. Just slip me out the like. That's the thing. I guess that's just my like mentality on it. It's like if I'm gonna die and all that, I want it just quick. I want it quick. That's all I want. I don't want like no drowning or anything like that. Suffocate. Like any of that kind of stuff terrifies me. I don't want none of that. But now the juicy part of the chapter. Let's talk about what happens with Erza, Jellal, and Kagura as they try and get to the ship where they see what's going on? It's got all pitch black and all that. And it's like, oh, you know, this magic. This is, you know, this is similar. That we've known this before. And it's like, we get to see Simon is there, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, because a lot of people were saying for like a long time and all that. You know, like Bradman, he was like, he's actually, you know, Simon in disguise, and it's like, no, this is an illusion. This isn't real. And it comes from the actual Neinheart. We finally get to see what he looks like. He looks like this pompous asshole, I'm not even gonna lie. This is now, with how some of these stereotype characters have been dealt with and all that, this is the one where I'm like, okay, I want this guy to get absolutely fucking wrecked. Because so far from what he looks like he's like, from what we've seen about it, because like, I kind of felt a little bit bad for Kagura. She was crying, she saw her brother again for like so long, and she was like, no, we gotta go against this motherfucker. And he's like, oh, what you're seeing is your Historia. A tale of love, friendship, family, betrayal, and death. What a beautiful sordid Historia indeed. Like that, it's like, that's how the chapter ends. I'm like, this guy in his big fucking suit of armor, I want him to get fucked up. Like, I generally... So, his one just honestly feels like a much more upgraded version of, like, Rufus's memory make magic. But instead of, like, using his memories to use as his weapons, he uses the opponent's memories against them, or against, like, you know, all that tragic stuff that they've gone through. And although this is the one thing I like about this chapter, this isn't a one-on-one. This is Jellal the leader, the guildmaster, the strongest person in Mermaid Heel, and Erza, someone that was a candidate for being a guildmaster like that. Albeit, I don't think Erza should be in this fight. Erza's had her fight. She should already sit down on there. But it's like, you've got all these three characters against it. That's what I want to see. Now, can, like, Hero execute this, like, really well? Like, I, honestly, out of them all, I want all three of them to finish him off, like, in one swipe or something like that. Like, I want them to do it together. I want them to get a few blows on him at first. Like, I want them to, like, beat the shit out of him a bit, and then he starts turning it around. But from what I've seen from so far of Neinheart doesn't look like a character that can take a hit. He really doesn't look like that. And I feel like the whole, like, you know, feared out one shot that people always keep calling out. It's like, this seems like a character that doesn't even go against up and personal with people. He goes actually what it seems like he's very long range. His magic is absolutely terrifying when you like, work against it, especially people that's got like traumatic past and stuff. But apart from that, like, he does not at all look like a physical fighter one bit. So I'm kind of curious to see what it's going to be. I wouldn't be, like, I really hope this actually could, like, because, like, I mean, you got Jellal there with, like, you know, his magic there. You got Kagura, you got Erza, and I'm like, you got three characters there, albeit I really do like Jellal a lot. Jellal's badass, and I do think Kagura is good as well. It's like, Erza, she should have been out already, so it would have been cool, actually, like, if it was working together, saying, like, oh, Kagura and Jellal, even that they still have a little bit of, like, hatred towards one another. I know Kagura's kind of put that aside, but if Neinheart actually got these two to, like, kind of bring back that hatred, it's like, no, you killed my brother, like, that was all your fault. Like, that would have been interesting if he was, like, manipulating them. It's like, no, we have to actually generally put our shit beside, and we have to attack, you know, we have to take this guy down, you know, and that would be kind of interesting in the chapter. Other than that, like, for this lengthy chapter, we did get a bunch of stuff. Finally, we got to see one of the other Spriggans from there. Also, this very big setup as well that August and some of these other Spriggans are actually going to be more legit. I hope that's maybe Hero saying, yeah, I might have fucked up on a few of these Spriggans, and I'm actually going to make them a little bit more terrifying now, from now on. So I'm hoping for it. Although Neinheart, he looks like his power is intimidating, but I don't see him that much being like, oh yeah, I can take a punch. Like, he seems like one of those characters, you punch him in the teeth, he's already down. Like, so I'm a little bit concerned about that, and definitely that brutality of just, like, all the, like, Sabertooth and Blue Pegasus members being stabbed and being on crosses. That was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. Like, the chain on the neck, them just degrading the women there, and I'm like, that is, whew. And also as well, the Mavis stuff, that is interesting. I don't know how I feel about that too yet. Like, I'm still thinking, should we really bring Mavis out like this way? I mean, it's an interesting way. It's like, oh, we can get Mavis into the battlefield, and like, but mind you, we never seen her to be an actual fighter. She always just used illusion magic. So there could be some things about that. So I'm kind of curious about it. But other than that, I do really think this is a great chapter. I do think this is like an 8.5 to like a 9. This is like vicious. Like, that's the first thing I saw when I saw the, like, Swallows. This was a vicious chapter. So I did love that, like, a lot, and even it is setting up some great stuff, and surprised that Natsu and all them aren't really the big focus on this, like, chapter. Like, surprised it kind of went back to, like, getting to see Neinheart, but looking forward to that fight, seeing if there's going to be some real cool stuff with Neinheart. But that's all for me. I want to see you love Fairy Tail as much as I do. Then hit that like and that subscribe down below. And don't worry, guys, I've got a theory video that should come out either today or tomorrow, depending on how much stuff is coming out today. You are going to have, don't worry though, you are going to have some seasonal videos. You are going to have some other videos as well on the way. But the actual, like, Natsu and Gray theory video about their battle might be delayed for a little bit, so I have to apologize on that part. That's all from me though, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys and you Fairy Tail fans next time.